2018 Ford Focus SEL, rear brake pads and rotors. First you want to do is remove your tires. Got to take your 19mm lug nuts off. If your wheel is stuck on the hub, what you need to do is put a lug nut on it, just a couple threads, and hit the back side of the rotor. I'll show you where you can hit the rotor without actually damaging it. You want to hit the rotor on this part, right here. Not this part, because you'll crack it right here. I'm gonna put it on that part. Spin the rotor and hit it in different spots, but make sure you're hitting it right here. Okay? So now that you got the tires off, then the next thing you need to do is pry off the spring with the screwdriver, get it off, and then remove the slide pin plugs on the back side right here with your screwdriver. It's two of them, two on each side. Okay, and it's got a Allen 7mm. It goes in there. Use that. Take both the slide pin bolts out, and then you can slide the caliper off. But this has that parking brake assembly that goes into it, so I might have to loosen up the cable. I won't know until I attempt it. So I do that now. All right, I got the caliper up. I didn't have to loosen it up any. Slid right out. So now all I need to do is get my tool ready for that. But I'll do that in a bit. Now we're going to remove our pads. Get them out of there. Remove this caliper bracket, okay? Caliper bracket, there's two of these. There's 13mm head. Break them loose, and then you can use your ratchet with them. Here's your caliper bracket. You need to clean them up where the pads actually sit. We'll do that in a bit. Next, we need to remove the rotor. If the rotor doesn't just come off, then you need to put some penetrant around it and then hit it with your hammer. We're not going to save it, so I can hit it on the outsides of this, or you can pound on right here, but try not to hit the studs, okay? And then when you pound on here a little bit, then you go into the backside, help push it off. All right, the rotor came right off. Now all you need to do is clean this surface all the way around and clean this surface on the inside, and hit this part with a brush, wire brush in the middle. I'll show you on the rotor where it actually makes contact. Makes contact there on the outer, and makes contact there on the inner. And inside here is just empty space, but you need to clean it up, and you want that surface nice and clean, because we're gonna put some anti-seize on it when we go together. All right, we got the hub cleaned up. Now I cleaned up the caliper bracket. So now I'm gonna put some paint on that surface and let it dry. And then I'm gonna work on my caliper, pushing my piston back in. The holes in the piston, get your tool out, and it pushes them in. Make sure they match, okay? Okay, matches. Snug it up. Turn your T-handle. Hold on to this, and keep turning it in. Sometimes it binds up, so you have to back it off a little bit, get this a little bit loose because it gets too tight, okay? If you don't have one of these tools, you have to use a C-clamp, going in there and pushing the piston in, and then get some channel locks, and go inside here, and grab hold of that piston and turn it. Turn it, and then turn your T on your C-clamp, push it in, turn it, turn your C-clamp, turn it, turn your C-clamp, okay? This actually, it's a right-hand thread on the right side. Okay, piston is pushed in all the way and it's all bound up, so now I gotta loosen it up. So I need to turn this one. Okay, and hold on to my T-hand at the same time. You wanna thread it in. If you turn it the other way, it just gets even tighter. Okay, so that's good. Some cars have one that's left hand and some are right hand. But most of the cars I've seen, the pistons are right hand. But they do sell a toolkit with left hand and right hand thread tools. I have not ran across that yet. What I want you to notice is the outer pad has a little nub sticking out that you would think would go inside the round holes in the piston. The inner pad doesn't have them, but it has the spring, okay? So the inner pad has the spring and no nubs, and the outer pad has the nubs, okay? Because some cars with these, they got the nubs that got to be lined up into the piston. On this one, it's just the opposite, okay? All right, put some Seal Glide in your slides and move it around inside there, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do this side. I'm gonna do this side. Move it around in there. All right, that's good. Get it out of the way. Okay. Now, anti-seize. Okay, the rotor is on. I got my anti-seize underneath. You wash your new rotors with soap and water or some glass cleaner, Windex, degreaser. Do not use brake clean. Get your caliper bracket ready. It's painted. Put some Seal Glide where the pad's right at. And then put your bracket on and tighten it up. Okay, snugged up the caliper bracket bolts, and then I torqued them to 35 foot-pounds. There is so many different readings of torque specs on that. I haven't found the correct one, but I'm gonna go with 35. It's not a very big bolt. The slide pins are 21 foot-pounds. Okay, so now we're gonna put our pads in, and then we're gonna put our caliper on. Remember, one with the spring on the inside and the nubs go on the outside. When you're putting the bolts in, push in on the caliper because the spring that's inside there. So when you push these in, you should feel it go into the threaded holes, okay? And then finger start them, and then you can ratchet, tighten them, and then torque them to 21 foot-pounds. Okay, now what we need to do is put our outer spring on. I'll put the bottom in, and I'll just start the top. And then I'll hold this in and I'll push that up and get it over there. And then I'll tap on these with the end of my screwdriver to make sure they're all the way in. Okay, springs in. Now to put our little plugs back on over our slide bolts, okay? Remove the clamp, the vice grips. Inspect, make sure nothing's twisted. It all looks good. Next, do the other side. Do the other side the same way. If there's a problem with the piston on that side, it is reverse thread, I'll let you know. Otherwise, you're good. Then you need to do is put your tires on, put your lug nuts on and torque them to 100 foot-pounds. And then when you're gonna get inside the vehicle, make sure you pump your pedal up to make sure you got a good pedal, because you don't wanna put it in drive or reverse and take off because you have no brake pedal. And just always double check your brake fluid level, okay? If I helped you out doing this job, that's awesome. If you could help me out and subscribe to me. If you already subscribed to me, that's great. I'll try to put more videos out for everybody. And I thank you all, and good luck.